In 1943, 20 million American families grew nearly 40% of the nation's vegetables. There were no chemicals, no corporations, no synthetic fertilizers, just soil, seeds, and methods passed down through observation experience. These methods didn't just work, they multiplied harvests. But soon after, something changed. A soil system that was free, self-renewing, and impossible to patent quietly disappeared from textbooks and public knowledge for decades. Today, the fertilizer industry generates over $200 billion a year, and knowledge that makes people independent has no value to it. That is why this history was buried. After World War II ended, bomb factories were left with massive surpluses of nitrogen. Instead of shutting down, they were repurposed. Explosives became fertilizer, and farmers became customers. But for that system to work, people had to forget what their grandparents already knew. Dependence was designed, yet the records remain. In 1943, victory gardens across America, grown without chemicals, fed a nation. This wasn't luck or coincidence. It was method, and it threatened an industry that hadn't yet been born. One of those methods was simple. Gardeners didn't remove plant material from soil. They cut plants at the base and let them fall where they grew. Leaves, vines, and stalks stayed in place, just like in a forest. Nothing was hauled away. Nothing was wasted. Forests don't clean themselves, yet they thrive. The organisms in the soil evolved to consume exactly what falls onto it. When plant material is removed, that cycle is broken. When it's left, the cycle is completed. USDA records from 1943 showed that gardens using this approach produced several times more vegetables than those that removed organic matter, while also reducing water needs dramatically because the soil stayed cool, moist, and alive. Another forgotten method was bringing life back into dead soil. Healthy soil is not dirt, it is an ecosystem. A single teaspoon of forest soil contains more living organisms than there are people on Earth. These organisms break down nutrients, create structure, protect roots, and retain water. Compacted, gray soil lacks this life. Victory garden manuals once advised families to collect small amounts of soil from healthy woodlands and mix it into their gardens. Just a few handfuls were enough. Bacteria multiply rapidly. Fungal networks spread outward day by day. What started as a small inoculation soon transformed entire garden beds. This knowledge couldn't be patented. It couldn't be sold. And no corporation could profit from people walking into a forest and restoring their soil for free. So it faded from public memory. But it never truly disappeared. In 1944, a grandmother in Ohio wrote in her Victory Garden journal that forest soil changed everything. Her tomatoes grew taller than her husband, and her children couldn't believe how much food they had grown themselves. The soil remembered. And now, so do we. Margaret was 83 years old when she finally shared what she knew. She said knowledge was the only inheritance worth passing on, because some things are too valuable to sell. That is why they were buried. Not because they didn't work, but because they worked too well. Secret number 3 was something the Haudenosaunee people never called a technique. They called it a family. The 3 sisters. Corn, beans, and squash were never meant to grow alone. Corn rises tall and needs nitrogen. Beans climb the corn and create nitrogen. Squash spreads across the ground, shading the soil and protecting both. Plant one without the others, and you break a promise that biology understands even if language didn't yet exist for it. This is not myth. It is ancient science. Together, these plants solve each other's problems, support fertility, protection, without a single external input. The results still shock modern agriculture. 3 sisters plots use nearly 50% less water than monocultures, require no fertilizer at all, and produce about 60% more calories per square foot than any single crop grown alone. Research later confirmed what indigenous farmers already knew. Plants connected in guilds share nutrients through underground fungal networks. When one plant has excess, it sends resources to another that needs them. They are not competing. They are cooperating. For thousands of years, this system fed entire civilizations across the Americas. Then European agriculture arrived with rows, monocultures, and purchase inputs. Cooperation was dismissed as primitive. Dependence replaced relationship. But the science never changed. The soil didn't forget, and neither did the families who kept planting this way. Secret number 4 was compost tea brewing. Not fertilizer, but liquid life. Victory gardeners understood they weren't feeding plants directly. They were multiplying organisms. Finished compost was placed into a burlap sack and submerged in rainwater or well water for a day or two. Stirred occasionally, the bucket became alive. Bacteria multiplied. Fungi spread. Beneficial organisms reproduced by the billions. That liquid was strained and sprayed on leaves and soil. The organisms coated plant surfaces, occupying space where disease would otherwise take hold, and enter the soil to restart biological processes that feed roots naturally. Crops were protected without fungicides or pesticides, just biology doing what it evolved to do. The method was later dismissed as unscientific while the chemical fungicide market grew into a multi-billion-dollar industry. You can buy their products, or you can brew life in a bucket. That choice was almost erased. Secret number 5 was living cover crops, what your grandmother knew instinctively. Bare soil is dying soil. Exposed earth loses moisture, structure, and life. Nature never leaves soil naked. Something is always growing, even when you are not harvesting. After fall crops were finished, seeds were scattered. Clover, winter rye, hairy vetch. These were not crops for food but for protection. Clover and vetch pulled nitrogen from the air and stored it underground. Winter rye sent roots deep into compacted soil, breaking it open and creating channel for water and air. All of them shaded the surface, held moisture, and fed soil organisms through winter. In spring, they were cut and left in place. Chop and drop, the cycle continued. There was no profit in crops you don't sell and no revenue in fertilizer you don't buy, so this knowledge survived only in the margins. Secret number 6 was seed saving. When you buy seeds, you buy genetics selected for someone else's land, someone else's climate, someone else's problems. But when you save seeds from your own strongest plants, you create genetics that remember where you live. Those seeds carry instructions for surviving your soil, your drought, your frost, your pests. Plant them again and they perform better. Save them again and they improve further. Generation after generation, adapting precisely to place. Victory gardeners dried seeds in shade, stored them in jars, and built living libraries of resilience. When people fled war zones, they often carried seeds, because seeds were survival. A global seed industry worth billions depends on repeat buying. Seed saving threatens that model. Your grandmother didn't need a catalog. She had a jar, and that jar held independence. 6 secrets. Chop and drop. Forest soil. 3 sisters. Compost tea. Cover crops. Seed saving. These were not gardening tricks. They were survival systems. Methods that build soil instead of stripping it. That create freedom instead of dependence. That compound year after year. 20 million Victory Garden families proved it. 40% of America's vegetables were grown without chemicals, without corporations, without cost. Then the war ended. Bomb factories became fertilizer factories, and an industry needed customers. There are 2 kinds of knowledge. Knowledge that makes you dependent, and knowledge that sets you free. You've just received the second kind. This is a remembering. The soil didn't forget. It waited. This week, try one secret. Just one. Chop and drop after your next harvest. Bring home a handful of forest soil. Save 3 seed from your strongest plant. One secret. 1 week. That is how remembering begins. The archive isn't finished. It continues in gardens, in hands, and in memory, one seed at a time.